Egypt. How did they go into Egypt? When Joseph was sold as a slave and worked under Pharaoh. You understand? Then there was that dream which he interpreted of 7 cattle that were fat and 7 lean ones that were what? That was lean, that was thin, isn't it? And then he dreamt the thin ones eating, devouring the what? The fat ones. He interpreted that there was going to be 7 years of famine. You understand? And that 7 years of famine gave rise to him now, because he interpreted that dream. He had to advise Pharaoh that now we have to have, in the 7 years of plenty, you have to gather a lot of corn. Because the 7 years of famine, you will need that corn to finish. And it was also an allegory, isn't it? Because what we have the Old Testament represented by the 7 fat cows. Now our gospel is more richer in the Old Testament time. And if you do not get it from the Old Testament time, you will never understand the New Testament time. So what he did was to gather the corn from the 7 years of plenty, which was represented by the 7 fat cows, isn't it? And also they will use that storehouse in the time of the 7 years of hunger, which is now the New Testament. The New Testament is so deprived without the Old Testament. If you want to understand the New Testament, you need to understand the Old. That's why you see people nailing things in the New Testament, because they don't understand the Old Testament. So unless you understand the Old Testament, you will never understand the New Testament. And you say the things that are still binding, you say they were nailed to the cross. You have to go back to the fat cows first, so for you to understand the lean cows. The lean cows are the New Testament, the fat cows the Old Testament. And that made Joseph a governor, because he interpreted that dream, because now he has to gather the corn in the Old Testament time, in the time of the fat cows, isn't it? So that it was used in the time of the New Testament time, or in the time of the thin cows. And he was a governor. And when he was a governor, the brothers who had sold him, now also, because all nations were coming to get corn from Egypt, so it became famous because of food. Yes. And also his brothers came to get what? Food from Egypt. And he saw them, he knew them. And that's how Israel came to Egypt.